Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Ross. Are you there, Ross? Hello, hello, Autumn. Hello, Steve. Bonnie.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, anybody out?
Hello. Hello,
I,
hello.
I'm having a hard time renaming myself to this. Usually it gives me that choice, but today it isn't. Can
Well,
you,
maybe I can rename you. What would you like to be?
Gina? It's fine.
There you are, Gina.
Thank you very much.
Don't you wish all of life's problems could be so easily solved?
Yes, I do. Aren't they? Isn't that why we're here?
That's right. That's I heard that's Nadeau Sensei's bestowed mission is to make our lives easy,
Yes.
to solve all our problems.
Well, I've been working on it
By
40 years.
sympathetically listening to us, by sympathetically listening to us, and then having insightful comments about our personal stories.
He knows us too well, I think.
We're all the way up to 16 people. Everybody likes to come at the last minute. Personally, my history is coming in just after the train left the station. I've done that quite a bit. It was a big lesson in life. What's the difference between arriving 1 minute before the train leaves and arriving 1 minute after the train leaves? A lot. 2 minutes, a lot of inconvenience. Hello, everyone. Hello, people from New Zealand. Unfortunately, you've made it into the news here.
Hi there, folks.
Hiya.
Yes, indeed. For all the wrong reasons, obviously, but
Right, exactly.
although that was a fairly amazing episode, because the event was over in 60 seconds, which
Yes.
unbelievable, actually, that they fortunately they were there and they could act that fast.
And it was a knife attack, right?
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Yes. In the United States, it'd be a, AR-15.
Yes, I really. Well, the thing is, if anyone walked into a supermarket here with an AR-15, it would certainly get an instant reaction.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's good news. That's what it's supposed to. You're not supposed to ignore it.
Well, they had that one when we were down for that last visit, and then they shut down the thing in no time. Never would happen in the States.
Well, yeah. I've just been investigating today to try and understand how COVID-19 would die off. And I haven't managed to find a single article that explains how that might be possible.
Well, Mike, I've been looking and they don't know why, but there seems to be like a 2-month duration to a Delta variant surge in multiple countries, regardless of the amplitude of the surge.
Well, yeah, and even if we do all get vaccinated, well, certainly probably in the Western world, I mean, it doesn't stop the vaccine. It doesn't stop the virus from being there. It's still there. It travels between us. We just don't get as sick.
Yes. Yes. That's about it. Okay. I'm going to, I hope, come here with a live camera and get rid of this. All right. Hello, everyone. And good evening. We're still gathering, but I do want to say just a word. Those of you who are in the Bay Area, Mountain View Dojo, we will have classes both Saturday with me leading the class and on Sunday with Jack Wada leading the class. So normal class schedule, even though it's a holiday weekend. And Bob Noah, do you have anything to say about Petaluma?
Yes, thank you, Lauren. Our schedule is Tuesday, Thursday evening, and Saturday morning at 11:30. And in October, we're actually starting a brand new class at 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday.
All right, so this weekend, regular schedule.
Regular schedule.
Okay. And Ross, are you there? Ross Madden.
Ross, just push your space bar to speak.
He's a lawyer. He doesn't have to push a space bar to speak. He went to law school to learn how to speak. Well, Ross is showing, but maybe not receiving.
We'll catch him at the end. Let him announce his.
All right. All right. Hello, Amy. Haven't seen you in a long time. And Michael Hawk. Hi.
I've been doing a lot of wildlife rehab work on Fridays. So today's my first day. I have kind of a free moment.
That's great. It's
Yeah.
wonderful to see you.
Yeah.
And Michael, have you been traveling? Just a thumbs up. He traveled up the.
I was in France, actually,
Oh,
and that was quite a trip. regarding staying safe. There's a ton of tourists there, and I kept my mask on the whole flight. I thought that was safer than eating when everybody takes the mask off. And I took a test afterwards, and I'm fine. So it worked out.
No, that's
But,
good. Well,
But other than that, it was super relaxing.
wonderful. All right. And I mean, the food quality on the airplane probably wasn't that good. You didn't miss so much. All right, everybody. I think Nadeau Sensei is almost ready to he's going back to basics tonight. And I want to say that Richard Moon has organized all of the recorded sessions from these last now almost 18 months of weekly sessions with Nadeau Sensei. They're all on the Moon Sensei channel inside YouTube. And I will post a link to the chat, and he's organized them. You can sort them by date, which is really convenient. And they're all there all the way back to March 13th, 2019, or maybe 2020. Sorry. So all the way back to March 13th, 2020, when Sensei's first class was open and settle. And so it's kind of time to go back to the fundamentals, which typically the question is, why do we spend so much time on fundamentals in Aikido? And the answer is because they're so fundamental. Let's see where Sensei is. I think we're almost ready. Oh, there he is. Good evening, Sensei.
Hello. Thank you.
All right.
Good
Good
evening. Good evening. Thank you. Okay. Ah. Okay. Again. Balance basics again. Anything from last week before we move on to whatever we're going to get into tonight? I think we need this picture. Anything from last week? Observations, questions, problems, insights? Anything? Come on, talk to me. Anybody remember what we did last week? Now, you know, I ask this question every week. I've had a week to think about, I'm going to ask them this, or my observation was that, my insight was ... Nothing, huh?
Well, Bob, it's just you were so clear that no one has any questions.
Yeah, I really believe that. Yes. Okay,
Hey, Sensei, this is Patrick.
Patrick, yes, sir.
Yeah, one of the things that came to me last week, what came to me was jumping into the darkness and having fear and trusting that something good would happen, that a net would catch me, and that accumulated energy would then kind of hold me and allow me to rebound. But the image of myself falling and kind of being fearful and flailing came to mind. And what came to mind, and it seems to me like it's the opposite this week, is that there's a quiet and a stillness somewhere.
Yeah, what I was pushing on last week, Patrick, was, let me see, first let me paraphrase, say in the human identity, then there would tend to be that I got to do something, I got to jump, I got to do this crazy suicidal thing. Easy with that level, easy. What I was going for last week was the beats themselves. In this case, we're talking about the dark downbeat, that it itself feels itself, has innate knowledge about itself. And as we shift away from looking at it to it feeling itself. Wait a minute. I don't know if you hear the noise. Yes.
Yes, we do hear the echo, and we're working on it.
Ross Madden needs to mute.
That sounds better.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, Sensei. I think we're good to go.
Again, that beat is not an idea. And at first we start that way, we look at it or imagine what that might be. But it itself is an energy in the universe, and I don't know if energy is the right word. It's a movement of the universe, a pulsation of the universe that itself is aware of itself is experiencing itself has, for lack of words, knowledge of itself or intelligence about itself. So I was putting the emphasis on that beat, not on I gotta jump kind of thing. So just to bring you up to date or whatever we're talking about here. Okay. And that whatever form you're going to use for a trade in or to shift from, well, here, this one is okay. From one level to the next, I use floors to represent dimensional levels, that you check your style, whatever you're using, clearing, and play that same game with, yeah, oh yeah, I understand clearing, okay, it's cleared. But to change from that, what they call it, awareness of, to it's a something experiencing itself, has knowledge about itself. You got to shift to sensing and sense what it's sensing. Are those words okay? Okay, because we tend to want to look at something and figure it out instead of no, it's feeling itself. It's feeling itself. Okay. See, when I used to had a period of time talking to dogs, I could look at the dog, but there had to be something there more like, and the dog has a sense about himself. What is this dog's sense with itself? And I had to sense that. Can I just look at the dog from out here? Isn't that kind of similar? The thing itself senses itself, has intelligence about itself, awareness of itself. So check all your forms of trading in, dark downtime, whatever, and double check with that sense of it. See if that doesn't facilitate. Okay, where the hell are we? Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Anybody?
Any other questions for Sensei?
Yeah. Oh.
Hi, Sensei. It's Autumn.
Hey, Adam.
So a couple of weeks ago, we worked on the core.
Oh, yes.
And it seems like a lot shifted in that period of time, exploration, and a lot, that emanation brought back a good deal of something very different, which is cool. But I feel like there's something beyond it as well.
Oh, yeah.
That there's something beyond place of center, of core, and that's kind of ultimately that self experiencing itself. And I just wondered if you could speak more to that.
Okay, so what I asked you to do, I think, was we introduced core at different levels. Physical core, a lot of people are aware of now. Every bodybuilding gym, probably yoga school, Pilates, everyone's aware of core as a physical plexus that can generate more energy through the body. Okay, this core emanates, so this body gets better. Now you've got finer dimension. So we get into finer energy cores. A great Tai Chi master would have a finer energy core, which would radiate through, which enables him to move the way that he moves. Okay. And I said it'd be probably good for you to practice even those heavier ones at whatever level you like, because I pick you up as, again, somebody who's set up to have the self of the domain level self, not a Bobby self or a Robert self. We're talking about going through all these dimensions, lickety split after a while. That's why we brought up an express elevator. After a while, this can be very fast. It's not a fast idea. It's a fast sensing experience through all of this. My God, O Sensei was fast. Okay, it wasn't an idea. So I don't know what words to use there. Anyway, I wanted yourself to position so that it's the core, if you're the underlying of your energy body, physical body, kind of thing, the undercore of your actor's theater setup, because my sense was that's what you set this up to do this time. And to make sure you had a strong core self at that level. So the craziness and the things moving and stuff wouldn't throw you off. That this inner sense of self in the domain here and now, that all this movement and whatever goes on in your world wouldn't throw you. You'd be able to retain this. So that's why I asked you, especially, I mean, I want everybody to play core a bit, but you especially to, and to utilize the heavier form just to get a little more practice time in, but really we're going for the core of the self in the domain here. So, did I say that okay?
Yeah.
What more could I add? What did I miss?
The self beyond the core, maybe.
Well, we're talking about self in the domain. That's pretty damn fancy, lady. Yeah, there's more, but let's hang there for quite a while, or for a while. Okay, I mean, that tells us we've extricated or got out of the prison, the craziness, the maze of manifest. Suddenly you have a chance to get free from all of that and be a more original self. Not the most original self yet, but damn, what a major step this is. Be self in that first returner's domain. And a lot can be done just at that level. But I'd like to hang at that level because remember, I'm talking to everybody here, you're returning after years and years of being caught up in the heaviness, the wrappings of the manifest. Okay, and even many lifetimes of being wrapped up in the manifest. And we're now able to slip out of that potentially. Okay, self in the domain. So let's take a breather there. Let's hang out there and soak there, and it's like you just got out of a horrible marriage. Okay, you just got divorced. Oh, don't remarry the next moment, dear God. Let's hang out here for a bit. Is that okay? And then we'll see it. Now I'll throw in next when I'm ready to throw out next. But this is a very important place, this returner's domain, I'm calling it now. Okay, the returner, the self that's been involved in the manifest, finally unwound, eased his way out. And we got a chance to play in this domain. It's a pretty fancy place. Okay. A lot more can be done than I'm aware of, but we'll pick that up as I play there more and hang out with other beings who are playing there. But it's a pretty cool place. Okay. Right now, in working with Susan, we're working with a lot of selves who are banged up physically, not functioning as well as they could physically, And in some cases, mental is throwing off their proper lineup. So we're practicing working with those selves to help get them to be better positioned self, more alive as self, as opposed to just a concept about self. And to have that self positioned better with the person, we use that word person to mean the physical person or the person in whatever levels of manifest, that this is an underlying pattern. It's an overlaid pattern. It's my three-layer cake, trying to say that. It's just the domain one is the underlying of those. It's when we get there, it then becomes this is first and heavier is next. And I've added another piece. Physical heavier is next. So that inner, I say manifesting, or says emanating. As that self catches, there's a core there, okay, that emanates, affecting the person. Did I lose you there? We really covered quite a lot, so help bring me back.
I'm afraid we've lost Autumn.
We lost Autumn.
She's dropped off. She's dropped off.
I don't blame her. I would have dropped off too if I was listening to that. But I was talking to everybody here, okay?
She's back now, Sensei.
Sorry for that.
She's back.
Yes.
My Wi-Fi is not strong.
Oh, wrong person. Sorry. Autumn, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So if you heard what I said, any kickback on whatever I said, was that kind of okay?
Yes. So the last thing we left off on is that it's a pretty fancy place and that there's a lot to be gleaned there.
Apparently so, yeah. I don't have all that down yet, but apparently a lot can go on with that as your, I don't know what we call it, central core, with self in the domain as the central core. Apparently a hell of a lot can go on there. Okay.
And I don't know if this is useful to talk about because I think you've spoken about it before and probably going to speak about it tonight as well, but kind of that, I want to say core wound almost, that core, the stuff, the obstacles, the rocks that you mentioned in previous sessions that kind of come up that have to be surrendered through and softened through and easy-eyed through.
Yeah, you're talking about the manifest, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, once you get where basics come up, it's important, is once you get some sense of using some simple pattern like that, of dimensionally how things work. Bobby settles down a bit with a sense of a little bit deeper and different ways to look at it. I sometimes consider it a pool of energy, often the next deeper floor, and then it's a finer dimension. And from that floor, energies mix up a Robert. And I suddenly notice I'm straighter. I feel a little fuller. The voice is just beginning to change a bit. I can hear it echo in my area someplace here a bit. I feel this little bit of inner strength starting to happen. That was just a moment, but I've done this so many times, I can get fairly fast at it. So I think once you get a sense of dimensionality, then you don't have to hit every damn dimension. My God, in the manifest, it'll go on and on because they'll be finer and then much finer and then very much finer. You go on and on and on. Once you get a fair sense of it, then we can, cut to the chase. Okay. So again, Sensei said, some people will catch it earlier. They'll get enough balance where the self that's in there someplace starts to holler or show itself or something. Some people catch it early. He said others will catch it later. And I infer there later means they have to go at a little finer dimension of balance before the self that's there will. Okay. Sensei said some will miss it completely. meaning they get so caught up in the fineness of the dimensionality, they don't hear this self that's in there someplace. They're really caught up in, oh, how beautiful this is, or how harmonious this is, or whatever. And they'll miss it, unfortunately. So where the hell are we?
Okay, one more question.
Okay.
So you're moving through the manifest and at these different layers, and you're continually recontacting either. It seems like you kind of start at the level that you stopped at if you're doing the practice regularly.
Not necessarily so.
Okay.
No, that could be, you could be wording that two different ways. If on Monday I hit a good level, okay, ooh, really harmony here, and I check myself character at this level, ooh, not a bad guy here, cool, okay. Tuesday, but before I get to go back at it again Tuesday, I've been involved in all kinds of mad crap, and I got pissed off over here, and I got, whatever. I can't expect to just instantly be at this level again. I'm a human being when I start. I got to settle down a bit, but after a while you get much faster. So, but there's kind of two ways of asking that question. I'm not quite sure which way you were asking it.
It seems a deeper level is more accessible sometimes. And then I have a question about what kind of responsibility can mean within that. What your take on that is?
Go ahead, responsibility. Okay, where are you now? You're in the manifest and you're playing a process? Is that where we are?
I think so. I think it might be a portal, a vehicle.
I like the word vehicle because we use the word travel vehicle to represent this trading in or the dark downtime. They're travel vehicles to more quickly go through all these heavier dimensions. I used to call it go doggo. And I'd say, well, it's like a flood river here, and there's dead cows floating by in barns and bing, bang, go doggo. That was my first presentation of Down Deep Darker. Okay. Dear God. So anyway, I like that you mentioned that word because travel vehicle is an old word of mine. And where are we? What are we doing?
Responsibility.
I don't know what that means. Where are you in the manifest that you suddenly feel responsible about something? You have to tell me where you're at because I can't just jump on that word and do anything with that word.
So it feels like there's this period of presence and awareness and experiencing itself at the different layers of this self. So you've got maybe even the manifest hidden and sometimes the divine. But don't
go that far.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So opening to those levels and going deeper still, right?
Okay.
And there is an integration that can happen that feels like it happens at a more full level, at like a, I don't know, for lack of a better word, all integral level, if there's more responsibility taken. If it's not amends, but it kind of feels like that. It feels like this responsibility to the trade-in.
Okay, I'm sorry to flip me something. Yeah, I'd be careful the word responsibility, because for me, that's like, I gotta do something because this is very important. Okay. And I wouldn't head that way exactly, but there's something here. Maybe more like you realize as you're trading in at the level you might be taught, where it's moving into a much better level, where because you're a bigger person, a finer person, a stronger person, that you have more responsibility. It might be that type of thing that you're picking up, where, I don't know, your system says, we're going to allow you to enter this finer level of you where you'll be whatever. prettier, precocious, powerful, something. But now you're going to have more responsibility. It doesn't mean I got to become responsible. It just means, okay, I'll open more. So there's a proper balance here. So that person, me, with that level, does proper with this. If you inherit money, do proper with the money. I can think of some horrendous things I would do with money and have fun. That's the way I am. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I want to take, oh my God, I'm responsible. I got to figure this out. I got to do this. Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. You're responsible. Settle and trust. Settle and open. Trust the energies and how they mix and whatever qualities they are. They're there. Trust them. But I got to understand them. I got to figure them out. No, you don't. Just allow them. Easy. Hang out. Wait, we'll see. Let them. But I got to figure them out. No, you just screwed it up. Of course, you'd like to figure them out, but don't go there. Easy. I allow them. Okay? I don't know. Let's use colors as a dumb example. I settle, and suddenly there's a whole bunch of red floating around. I got to figure out what red is and what I should do with it. No. Let red. Easy. And let more red. Easy. And as you do that, you can start to sense the real meaning of or texture. I did like the word meaning because I didn't want people to start thinking about the meaning. The sense that red has with itself. Okay. As I sort of play the game of red is feeling itself, the word courageous is just jamming through me. Okay, so there's the first sense is a courageous thing. Okay. A little sense of something related like blood. Okay, easy. And I go, I got to think about blood. Oh yeah, blood in the human system. I don't go there. Stop it. Red itself trying to express itself. Go back to the red blood. Okay, easy. There's something about life that life moves, life movement. Easy. And then just hang out and feel these things, sense, experience these things, which is a hell of a lot different than thinking about these things. If you think about them, you can spin off into not important land or way off track. Stay and experience. If you experience, there will be knowledge, but not knowledge before the experience. Knowledge sort of naturally happens. Okay. That kind of thing, yeah.
Okay, so that's like the opposite side, right? The idea of responsibility, which actually feels more like maybe courageousness and maybe being willing to, the feeling I get is kind of willingness to engage in a different way, or a different level of presence, for lack of a better word. But then, like, is it useful to also call in like compassion with that, or something that is more?
Okay, well, don't you call in shit. Okay. If it shows, then you can soak in it and play what I was playing. But no, I got to decide how to be spiritual. So I'll call in this and then, I'll call in that. St. Joe had a lot of good luck with his quality. I'll call that one in. Stop it. You're sitting in your own system, in your own lineup, in your own creation. It's all there, but you're going to hang out with it and open to it and whatever. So watch out for ideas other people put in your head about what you should be feeling or experiencing, what quality should be there. You'll have enough with what burbles up, what shows itself in the here and now. I have enough to deal with there. Okay. Watch out for trying to follow somebody else's pattern. See, my color system, meaning what I'll run into, is different than yours. Okay, I'm a warrior type. Not that all my lives have been warrior, not that all my lives have been male, but I tend to be a male warrior in a lot of lives. I've done a lot of raping and pillaging in my day. You don't have that mix. I've seen a bit of yourself. You don't have some of that. You may have strength, but you don't have the bomb that I have. My color mix is different than yours. Follow your own color mix. I'm not telling people what color to be. I'm saying here is the system we're in, and here are things that could help you get into the better of yourself, the better of your qualities, the better of your, since I like the word purpose after a bit, of your purpose in creation, how you set it up. Okay? So basically, I'm just trying to help people line up with themselves. Trust yourself. Okay. Trust this how creation was created. There's real intelligence and harmony and all that stuff here. Just trust it. Okay. Trust it. And it will be self-explanatory as you allow it, open to it, hang out there. We could say soak there for a bit and see how that clarifies. It will clarify. It's intelligence. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Good enough for now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Art. So that was a good, I think, go around for basics, people. No? Okay. Where the hell are we? Oh, Sensei's basics again. He liked. Okay. One of the things he liked was fire water. Kind of esoteric for a lot of Westerners, but should mention it. Okay. I like that one myself, so I used to play with it a lot. And I would do the first centered form, fire up and water down. Okay. As you settle and open, after a bit, you can begin to sense, feel the fire up and end the water down. Okay. So then it seemed that when there was an equal balance of fire to the water, when they were more equal and balanced, see, if you get too much fire, the water will just dissipate, right? If you get too much water, the fire is drowned out. So the harmony between the fire to the water and back, that's when it steams. So you can actually, after a bit, sense the steam. And I continue a bit more, of course, with the fire water, fuller steam or something, okay? To me, steam represents the balance at the level you're, at that present level you're playing with fire water. It's showing balance. That's not the end of it. So if you're doing a little more advanced, you want to say something like, through the steam, who's here, or what dimension am I in? You don't stop at the steam. You don't stop at balance. You recognize the balance in whatever form it's showing. In this case, it'll show a steam because you're playing fire water, but do continue it through the steam. Okay, because there should be something more there than just steam. Now, as you get more advanced with fire and water, the darn thing doubles up on you. So you get the fire, water, and then you get water, fire. Okay. For me, that started to include, see, I'm a center guy originally, and it started to include and I would do my center fire, water, and then this other beat would start to happen, water, fire. And that would be the realm beat, universe beat, the circle beat. So you naturally do a double up, fire to the water, water to the fire. Okay. And And again, steam, there'd be more probably heavier sense of the steam there. Tells you you're at a good balanced place. And where are you through that? What level are you at? What dimension are you at? Who is the character there now? Something to go through the steam. So the steam in that case is kind of like a travel vehicle, brought you to a place. Boom, here's the place. Anyway, well, since I like fire, water, steam, for some Westerners, that's a little weird, esoteric. I kind of liked it. I played with it for some years. It was fun. The Chinese use it, Noah? Chinese use it at one stage of their core work. There's a fire, water, steam at a certain level of core that they mentioned. And no, we can't hear you.
Noah, you're muted. Please unmute.
There we go. Yes, Sensei, that's right. A lot of emphasis on balance of fire, water, and then the steam that's produced becomes purer and purer as you do that.
Yeah. So the Chinese picked it up at an energy level core.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, there's fire, water here. And they use that fire, water.
I believe Western alchemists also used fire, water.
Okay. So Sensei wasn't the first or the last. So fire,
One of the
water.
best.
I think the Chinese had a lot about the strengthening factor at that level. They were working at fire and water and they were strengthened. When I was a little kid, I lived in Canada for a while, and there was the family had a little foundry,
Smithy, blacksmith,
yeah,
black furnace.
blacksmith place. And they'd heat the thing, they'd stick it in water, check, see how it was, and they'd heat it again, make their corrections, stick it in water. So their fire, water, steaming at that level was producing a stronger piece of metal. So that's my history. Anyway. Okay. Oh, Sensei. And remember that, let's continue with fire, water. Remember, okay, so the Chinese were talking a lot about it at a particular dimensional level of energy, so finer energy level. Didn't say the finest, a finer level, where they caught that. And they caught that core, fire, water, steam, could radiate or manifest or glow out and affect things. That's where the bones would probably get a little stronger. And they realized, whoa, it's hard to break my bones here. But remember, we're doing bigger work. So we want you to sense, if you're using fire, water, to have a bigger sense of that, all in the universe fire, all in the universe water, centered and circled, okay? And that steam should bring you to some, definitely should be able to bring you to some, through that to the domain of self, okay? So don't get caught up in just steaming in a little piece. Good, you want to hang out, pick up some tricks, they're cool. But remember, these are universally symbolic, actually active. Okay, so don't know if I said that right, but anyway. Oh, Sensei. Again, he liked the Yayi Mami. He thought it was good for you guys. Center to the circle, circle to the center. There we're picking up, it represents the beats of two original forces, the great center, the great circle. For me, I would call that the great he, the great she, but whatever you want to call it. Okay, but for me, this is a he and that's a she. and that you get harmony between those two. And whenever you get harmony using the he-she type pattern, then you're going to get a breeding, which is the better level of me at that level. Okay, it's going to mix up or breed character. So anyway, the Yayi Mommy, when we did that in class on a Friday night, a lot of people responded back to me that they really, really liked that. We're really getting something out of that. So continue with it. And again, do be careful with chanting that, let's see if I can find the right words, that you don't spiritually adore. That's not the right phrasing. Tej, are you on?
He is not, Bob. He's not here.
He had to leave, Sensei.
Okay. We were just talking about this once upon a time, that you, that's a finer sound. Whoa. Don't get into that, I don't know what to call that, spiritual appreciation and go gaga over it a certain way. It's a vibration rate. Okay. The vibrations of you out to the mommy and those vibration back. Okay. And to have a sense experience of those vibrations. Okay. So that as we get that balance, again, someplace in there, you'll be able to transition if you've got a calling from inner self to there, go for self in the domain. Okay. You okay so far? So a different balance pattern, but the same possibility of, I don't know what words to use, how to utilize that, how to take advantage of that to get back to self in the domain, which is the next much bigger piece underlying all of this here and now. Damn the words. It's just some people in I don't know the right words, adoring that, tend to stay at that level and they don't pick up the aliveness. This is like they go too aware of and don't have any of the experience of. And damn, we need that piece very much, very much. Okay. And I'll bitch about that probably forever because there is a preponderance of aware, and people from the very get-go missed that. They jumped in quick on the awareness of, and they missed it. It's, for lack of words, its partner is experience. So if you could say a great self is talking to itself, it would say experiencing, I am aware. Aware, I experience. And that's all within a much more developed self, maybe even a soul self level. But we are potentially lacking on the experience. There's still, you can even see it in daily life, a lot of awareness of, but very little in some cases experience of, or people get confused and they sort of double up on their awareness. So if I really, really, really become aware of it, that means I'm experiencing it. It's like, no, you just went more and more and more. You went into this in depth, but you still didn't have the experience. Boom. Okay. The words. Okay, moving along. Oh, sensei. The dark beats. Okay. Said there are different types of travel vehicle or beats. He especially liked the dark beat. Again, in Japan, you think the dark is weird to the Westerners. He said Japan, very bad about the dark. They just think that's bad stuff. Okay. He may have used maybe he used Nennokuni. Lauren? Nennokuni?
Could be too many things. Give me a moment. I'll come back.
Referring to down dark, bad shit. No? Maybe I phrased it wrong.
I'll come back to you in just a moment.
Oh, okay. I can catch you another time. No importante. So that trade-in of dark. Now, let's say we're at a Bobby level, okay? And Bobby gets a little tired. He goes, wait a minute, people, I can't run anymore. There's his downtime. If he touches his basic floor level, for lack of words, a basic floor level, then he'll be Bobby again, but revived. Okay, troops, I can run for another half mile, maybe. So he's just, the tired one is traded in and has revived, but he's still Bobby. Okay, that's okay. It's a nice, useful daily life trick. All right. If you're exhausted washing dishes, you just take a moment. I use like floors for reference. Floor, and from that floor, and more energy mix up through the system, and you're a revived dishwasher. You can continue scrubbing away there. Isn't that exciting? And we have used these. I don't know if people have noticed how often they actually do a downtime. We say, give me a moment. Let me think about that for a bit. And what they're doing is a downtime. So if you were, I think we brought this up one Friday, if you were to check certain pauses that you do and reference them in terms of downtime, you see we use that a lot. Okay. Okay. Now, once we start to get a sense of what's really going on with that, or how that can really facilitate, let's try that. Then we want to take advantage of it. Now, what we did, I think, a week or so ago was try to have you in feeling the dark down, as an example. Don't just look at it and think about it, okay? But play this game of feeling it. It's feeling itself. You experience what it's feeling about itself. It has a sense of itself. It has intelligence about itself. So instead of just I'm over here and now the shade is going down. Okay, and now I know you weren't involved enough. And right there comes a lot of fears about the dark. Okay. So we've tried to cover on a few different nights the properness that this is here. Where I come up with the dumb stories like, I don't think the tree really bitches when fall and winter come into play. It just, oh, it's that time. Oh, okay. And then it accepts its downtime, does something, goes deeper in roots, enjoys the downtime, let's say. Haven't hung out with a tree enough to know how it enjoys, let's say. And then comes springtime, it starts to blossom out again. And it's probably grown bigger. It's producing brighter or more blossoms, and it's going to produce better, bigger, tastier fruit. So it took advantage of the downtime, and it's very natural. Okay. So I said, my God, if the tree can do it, what's wrong with us? We fight it. We're afraid of it and all of that. So trying to have you have a sense of the real sense of the dark, and try the other trade-in forms with that same game, that they're experiencing themselves and have intelligence about themselves. And it'll give you a little bit different or a better sense of things than just using it as a word. Oh yeah, you trade in and then ... Nice word, but there's been no experience there, you know? So where the hell are we going here? Oh, since I like the down dark, he said that we're in Japan, that down dark is not well liked, has a bad rep. He kind of liked it, okay? Takeda liked it. Takeda is, what's his quote, jujitsu teacher. He liked it, okay? and it helped him to become one hell of a warrior, Takeda. Okay. So to find the niceness of dark is what I've been trying to push a little bit. That the dark itself is nice and is more than just a dark shade being pulled down. And something I have to put up with. I don't want to, but Nadeau says it's natural, so I'll put up with it. Come on. Feel it, feeling itself. It's aware of itself. It's experiencing, and hang out with that. Okay, so Chicago, Richard, you on? I thought I saw you on Chicago, Richard. No. He was talking last week about soaking, long-term soaking in the dark.
I'm sorry, Sensei, he's not on tonight.
I thought I saw his name. Okay. He got bored, he jumped out. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, he was doing a long-term soaking in the dark, and I said, that's cool, but just don't forget, we're not going to stop there, that dark is sort of has a direction in the sense of deeper under, and there'll be a trade into the next boom. Okay. And so I kind of liken it to a curtain in the theater closing. And then when it opens, the next scene, brand new scene is there. I kind of like that thing of it. Anyway, so Sensei liked dark now, but he also said there's other forms, and be familiar with some of the others. He said you'll have your favorite, but do play with some of the others. So you can play with a trade in, you can play with clearing, you can play with Bob, I'm going blank. Noah, give me a reminder here. Trade in, clearing.
Downtime.
Yeah, I put the downtime in with the dark myself. Yeah.
Letting go.
Letting go. Yeah. Letting go. Anyway, so
Clearing.
Clearing it. Anyway, you got the general drift of that. What else? Sensei.
And so Nadeau Sensei, I think that looked in my dictionaries, and I'm pretty sure that if O-Sensei said Nen no Kuni in the context of this sort of discussion that you're having tonight, that he probably meant it was the country of thought or the country of concept.
And then I maybe used the wrong words. He was talking about something about the deep dark and how people are with that. So I'll have to go over my notes. I'll get back to you another day.
Thank you, sir.
Anyway. Yeah. I mean, could have inferred the thought about death and dark and stuff could have been that, but it was heavily referring to this this deeper under thing. So that could be right, but it takes away the emphasis of what I'm trying to say. Deep, dark. Oh. Anyway, where are we? A reminder about basic patterns. I don't know. I think basic human being level. Okay. As you begin to feel yourself, feel your body, basically, feel yourself more, you'll probably begin to notice when the energies zip through you, whether they're pulling you down or pushing you up and out. Might notice those and deal more properly with them. properly being easy. Don't try to think them to death. Easy, settle, open a bit, allow them. Okay. Because they're going to, if they're energies, they're going to mix up a better level of you. Okay. If they're pulling you down, then it's following the down pattern. Down to a certain level, and at that level, bing, it's the next set. So your next center circle, your next finer energies, or more of your finer energies are there, and they mix up naturally with character. Character has a core. Where are we? So as a human being, don't forget those simple basics of, and when you settle and open, be prepared for there to be more energy coming through. So if you're settling and opening and suddenly catch your palms are heating up or your fingers are starting to tingle, it's like, of course, you're settling and opening, the energies can activate and start to flow around more. Okay, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to flow around as part of the mix of you, part of that breeding sense. In advanced formal sense would say recreate yourself. Well, let's keep it simpler. Mix up a better level of you, or a little more advanced, breed a better level of you, because the energies tend to take on sort of a male-female type thing in the manifest. As you continue in the domain, after a bit, there isn't any sort of distinction. You're neither male nor female. So thank God we'll get past that. Oh, but all you guys are this, and who understands what women are saying, or whatever. You can get past that level. I almost sometimes don't like to bring up in the earlier, heavier, a male-female, because people immediately start doing their human male-female insanity. But at finer levels, it all begins to change and improve and show its truer nature. So where the hell, what I get down to there? We got somebody, where are we? What are we doing? Where are you? Oh, yeah, good. So again, the simple human thing. I'm a 10-pounder. If I'm a tired 10-pounder, I take a moment, a minute, a few minutes, whatever, and I touch it, that level floor of myself, and then I catch my breath, so to speak, and I'm a revived 10-pounder. Okay, good. Wow, what a nice trick. Useful little trick. But now you get sharper with it. Like, if I can be revived just doing this thing for a minute, what if as a 10-pounder, I go a bit deeper to the next floor? And from that floor, because there's more energies, I call them pool of energies, so it's a very dumb reference. The more energies mix up, and I'm suddenly a 20-pounder. I can feel it happening already. My spine really wants to straighten. What else? No, what else? Experience it. I'm positioned a bit lower in my body. My hips kind of activated a bit. My body presence is a little bit more. And on and on and on. So we're able to skip just rebeating a 10-pounder over and over, but that's a good trick in the human level. Oh my God, it's a great trick. But to catch on how it works and go for a deeper floor and be a 20-pounder. And is that you?
Yeah, you're right. Just on.
Yeah. Can they can't see me, can it?
Yeah, just on.
I'm still on?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine, Sensei. No problem.
Brad is goofing up back here. There he is. Okay. That if you can do that to a 20-pounder, a floor, gee, what if we sense better and better, deeper and deeper, and we can go much quicker to boom, it's kind of like a Shazam kind of thing. Boom, you're gonna be a 40-pounder really quick, okay? But you have to practice a little bit, get the sense of how it works and stuff. And then later, we should be able to go much faster, which is what we were trying to point at last week or whenever about the express elevator. Let's stop with a little bit deeper floor. And now I'm a 12-pounder and now a little deeper. Maybe I'm a 13-pounder, but I'm not sure. And on and on and on and on. Once you get a sense of it, we sense finer through these levels. Boom. Again, our sensing got to be damn fast. Okay. Once you get a sense of dimensionality a bit, and most of you 40, 50-year people, for God's sake, especially, you should have a pretty good sense of dimensionality. I mean, we've been laying that out every damn class for umpteen years, right? Just then you get a sense of it and you can zip through with your sense. Now, careful of that word. I use the word sense as an experiential movement through. Don't misunderstand that I'm saying think your way through. Okay, I think I'm going through all those dimensions and now here I am Shazam. I'm all powerful. It's not an idea that way. It's a sense experience that's moving quickly through dimensions. Don't know quite how to get that across, what words I should use. But anyway, we've been hinting at that when we bring up things like express elevator, we're hinting at that capability through dimensions. So after a bit in say the dark, say you're using dark time and you realize that, oh, dark a little bit, and then you come up revived, your revived 10-pounder, that once you catch that, you can eventually start to go bigger with that, have a sense of the bigger of that it's dark throughout the whole universe, eventually dark through the whole universe. And I didn't quite make it, but boom, and there. I'm still in finer, I didn't make it to domain yet, but a finer manifest. But you see, kind of get a sense maybe of how that works. So your basic would be in simple daily life things, recognize when you do little downtimes, when you pause, when you say to somebody, give me a moment, why? Okay. Somebody asks you a question about something you sort of should know the answer, but suddenly you don't even know the answer in your own business. You say, give me a moment, and you click, and then you go, oh yeah, of course. And you lay out the answer. What did you do in that time? So I think if we, for simple daily practice and to function better in this physical world of Bobby, that we catch when we use those down times, or whatever word that you use, trade-in times, clearing times, whatever. Again, I like the dark word. So, and just catch when you do it, how you do it, how often you do it, what it really means, so that we can take advantage of it more. Good daily life trick, okay? I used to, do dumb stuff with the workshop people. If they were business people, I'd say, and in those days, interruptions. They hated interruptions. It was the biggest problem. If you did a survey, they'd say interruptions. And so I use examples, if I can remember them now. Hang on. The phone rings. You don't have to pick it up on the first ring. Second ring is going on. Don't panic. Pick it up on the third ring. But now this person is the listener, and you're there in that conversation, or you're there being a good listener. You pick it up too fast and the guy talks and say, wait, could you just repeat what you said? Because what you're really saying, I wasn't really here, I wasn't really ready. Why did you pick up the damn phone? So I would tell them, waste time to save time. Is my presentation for time savings people. Anyway, so a simple balanced basics you can use in daily life, and they're good reminders about the bigger of it. So we could say, well, maybe I don't expect you at first to be able to do a big time trade in or downtime, but reference it kind of clearly. Ooh, give me a moment. Okay, that will facilitate. That's sort of what I was saying to Autumn about. Autumn, don't mind practicing physical core games and energy core games, just to get a sense. I know you really want to major in self in the domain, rightfully so, and that it has a core, but to get a little in the manifest practice can't hurt. What the hell? Why not? Okay. Time. So I don't know if we covered anything intelligent proper tonight.
Excuse me, Sensei. Chris from New Zealand.
Chris.
Would you use that same pattern as the domain presence, that sort of percentage? Would you use that same sort of downtime to help map through that or into that or increase that percentage?
Okay, I got totally lost.
I'm sorry,
So-
Chris, can you please just move a little closer to your microphone? Thank you.
I'll chuck the other one in, sorry. So going through the process and with getting closer to what you'd experienced the domain.
Okay,
would you
well, wait
still-
now. You got to remind me what we're talking about. Which process are you talking about?
So I'm a downtimer. I'm
Okay,
downtime
process.
moving through that, going through the dimensions, and then the domain presence is and percentage is increasing. Would you still keep using the downtime to help use that process?
Why not?
With it? Yeah. I just normally get a bit puzzled. That's safe, happy.
I know. I mean, that could be your major if you really like that one. Again, reminding you of Sensei said, try a few of the others also. But if you like that one, should be potentially a daily.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to remember. I'm sure I asked Sensei about that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Why you got a good thing going? Why stop now? Kind of thing. Certain things continue through the manifest into the domain. Okay, certain main patterns. For example, in the domain, there's still a personal, whether we call it a self-experiencing itself, but that's a personal, that's your self. It's not myself, it's your self. So in the manifest, we've gone through Bobby and Robert Nadeau, very personal. It continues. Okay, even to the next major change. It looks like there's a center circle set up in the domain. So that somehow continues. That core, the self in the domain, seems to show a core. The better its balance is with its awareness of itself, experience of itself, the better those cores seem to glow. So that's an ongoing. So many things carry over into the domain that were important in the manifest. They carry over into the domain. Now, since there's two things there. One, the texture of those things in the domain is different. They may still be there, but there's some kind of texture change. Make of that what you will. Okay. And what else? Oh, and the dark, if you're majoring on the dark one, he says the dark has, at that level, has a different, I don't know, some like feeling about itself. Maybe more the, see again, in the study from human, dark again has a little bad sense sometimes. But by the time you get to the dark to the domain, the dark is starting to show more of its truer nature. I pick it up like it's sweeter and I don't know, just, whoa, this is nice kind of thing. That the dark, I don't know the words, changes, presents itself different, shows the truer of its experience of itself, and the words. Okay. So anyway, you have to understand, again, back, I ask people in the manifest, whatever level, you got a nice idea? Hey, that's nice. Now, what's the supportive energy? Okay. You understand what centering is? And I say, let me see it. Let me see the center. Let me push your arm up or whatever. To reference that the center at some level is actually there. Okay. To try to tie this upper to the lower and lower to the upper together better. You know what's going to happen in the domain? I'm asking you to do the same damn thing. Because that continues there, where it's aware of itself, alive with itself, it's aware of itself. If you had been paying attention, I started to point that out when we first introduced, I think, self in the domain, and I pushed on it's feeling its own aliveness. So I started pushing on that right away because I knew you'd have a tendency, just the way beings are. Don't take you personally. When I say you, I mean all you characters in creation. Have a high tendency to go into the awareness of it. And it may lose you totally with your awareness of it. And yeah, it's nice, wow, and all of that, but your math is off. You are off because you don't have the full proper balance, if you would. So that da to da goes on in the domain still. Okay. All right. Well, since he used the word consolidation, and I didn't quite have a sense of how he was using that position, and then we'd almost immediately say consolidation. We talked about positioning a week or so, a couple of weeks ago, whenever. So position, and then in the position, aware, experiencing, I am aware. He called that consolidation. And when there's more and more consolidation, this core thing glows better. He didn't say glow. I like the word glow. He said radiates. No, that's my word. He said emanate. So positioning, consolidation, core emanation, da-da-da-da. But anyway, certain things continue through the manifest. They're kind of basics. How the creation originally created, we could say, there's certain basics in there that continued into very heavy and are still going on in the finer and are still going on in the pre of manifest into what we're calling the returner's domain, returning self's domain. Okay. How much more they continue when you eventually maybe lined up to the heavenlies, we'll see. But retain certain majors. If you're not sure, at least be open in the domain for what's showing and how it's showing with that, for lack of words, in mind. Okay. Best I can say it, the words are a bitch here, people. Eating up time, somebody. Anything?
Thank you.
Chris, thank you. Oh, come on, lie to me. You can't even tell me lies. What are we going to do here, people?
Hey, Sensei, it's Justin in Miami. How are you?
Now here comes an A1 liar right now. Yes, Justin.
I just wanted to reinforce how important it was for us when you mentioned the daily life stuff, in that in practice, and what I'm seeing is that people who wait until they're in a situation and then go into a process sometimes don't have the time it takes. So we've been suggesting that to work your process when it's easy, when you're feeling comfortable and good. This way you won't be blindsided or surprised by things that come up, because you're going to set the stage and make room for the things that haven't come up yet.
I'll let you steal my words here. Practice in the summer, so it'll be there in the winter. You're free to use that.
Yes. But that piece has been insanely helpful for many people, to don't wait until you're surprised. Do it when it's easy.
Yeah. It's like your early morning practice kind of thing. Just to at least set up your sense of it. So if something happens, because you have a good sense of it, bing, bang, even if it's only that much center, at least it's centered or whatever, grounded or whatever. Yeah. Sensei did it. He had his morning set. Yeah. Where he set up certain things. So if anything happened, and he could just go click, and there was Sensei as we really know him. But he had set it up. The sense of it. I don't know what to say. It was there waiting for, if anything, for this lesser. He was, he was this old man. He was, whatever. But if there was a situation, ping, because he had set it up, bang, there was Sensei. He was fast. Okay. And he would like to play that game with people. Look at this old man. Look at what he can do. He's trying to show them in a certain way, the overlay, or that you can tap it pretty quick once you catch on to how things work. So we'd like to use that phrase. Look at, you see this old man? Boom, boom. And he'd screw him over, make him look like fools, or hold out the strongest guy in town with his finger, or whatever, whatever. He enjoyed fucking around. It tickled him. But yeah, with the people that you deal with, I'm sure a lot of these simple tricks, if they catch them sort of, how it works or what it represents, and it's simple enough so they'll actually practice it or touch on it, they'll come back with you and say, wow, I feel so much better since ... or I function so much, or you ought to see my golf game, since you talked a little bit about centering, with the hopes that they continue with that and get into the deeper, for lack of words, of it. And when I taught, I did a couple of workshops with golfers, for Christ's sakes. I didn't care about their damn golf game. Give a shit less. But I thought, if I can show them a little grounding and centering, I know their strokes, their strikes, their whatever, it's going to get better. With the hopes that they'll be enthused about that, and the hopes that they'll have a sense of, whoa, what's the more of this thing? That they would go more with it. They're coming at a human level, so I don't know. But anyway, that was my hopes. Teach them something simple, but that's based on the truth. That's important. Got to be based on the truth. It's got to be, if you're teaching them center, you're kind of home free, because center goes on through the whole universe. If you're talking about some degree of harmony with the situation you're in, and show them something simple about a 2-beat pattern, or however you want to lay that out for them. That's cool because the beats of that vast circle that's there, yeah, it gets finer and finer and finer. So you're not steering them wrong, I think is what I'm trying to say. Even though you only teach them a little bit, because that's all they can take at the moment, that little bit can go to that a bit, and that a bit can go to that a bit. And it's not your responsibility to see if they follow through. You hope they will, you know, whatever.
And I try to make it something that it's relevant to their lineage or what they're lining up as well.
Yeah.
So it fits easily in with their.
Yeah, don't teach a golfer how to be nicer with his wife. I don't think he gives a shit. He wants to hit that ball. I got to be careful what I say. People will misunderstand.
Thank you, Justin.
Stay in touch, Justin. Stay in touch. Anybody, anything finishing up here? I hear Koch in the kitchen moving pans around.
Let's say this is Bob. You were talking about how fast O-Sensei was, and it reminded me of a story I heard from Abe Sensei, who was his calligraphy teacher.
Mm-hmm.
They were riding in a car, and the car got stuck on a railroad track.
Oh, that story, yes, go ahead.
And Abe Sensei was in that car with him, and the train is kind of barreling down. Looks like it's going to collide with the car. So he's ready to throw himself on top of O-Sensei to see if he can save him. And he looks over, yeah, and O-Sensei was doing exactly what you just showed. And the car moved off the track.
Yeah.
And, you know, riding around in a car, he probably wasn't initially in some refined state necessarily, but when he needed it, it was right there.
Yeah, magic shit would happen. But for those of you who've almost been, well, I don't think Danny's on tonight. He's recuperating. But I've had those, you know, my motorcycle is almost under the tires of the big rig and something happened. The train story is just that level at a more advanced degree. It's following that pattern, it's just more advanced. So we hear different stories, whether the taxi itself jumped up and moved in, or whatever. There's a couple of different stories of guys who were in the taxi. I don't think they really knew what happened anyway, because boom, it just sort of happened, right? But O-Sensei had certain reminding things about his setup. That was one of them. Holding a fan. He had this thing he would do a lot. That was his reminder for something in his process. I can throw out a few guesses, but I don't want to. But just, it wasn't unusual to see him holding a stick or something. Or that, or a fan, or what the hell ever. It was his reminder about his set. See, even as an old man, Ueshiba, apparently it's still nice to have a reminder about bing, 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 bang. We can't get caught up in our humanity, and I hear it every day. Isn't it crazy out there in the world? It's like, yeah, but I don't know how much I want to talk about it. You know it, I know it. Do we have to keep going around? Because pretty soon I'm going to get caught up in the crazy. And I can't go too much into the crazy and more in there, because I'm a crazy son of a bitch, I'm telling you. I get caught up in that insanity. You tighten me in there a bit. I don't want to go there. Been there. Don't want to get into that level. Okay? So yeah, we all know it's crazy. Do we have to keep talking about it and showing examples? I think we have to be careful there. All right? Because then you start with your neighbor. Oh, I can come up with a better example than your worst example. Oh, well, here's my example. And then he'll try to up you one, and he'll come up with even worse example. And then we're getting caught up in this. So you got to be careful. I do what the hell you want, but I suggest you're careful with the insanities of the world. Yes, but there's also this inner reality, which is true. More true than the craziness. Yeah. So I would prefer if we could tap this truth, have that, and the emanations from that level of truth present with enough folks, maybe that would counterbalance the off balance of the world's off, the universe is off balance. Maybe that could help counterbalance. You're not going to bring the universe back into balance by adding to the how insane you think it is, you know. Or if we can get rid of all the Democrats, or sorry, these days it's Republicans, get rid of all the Republicans, all will be well. Are you fucking people crazy? What are you doing? Getting caught up in more insanity. All right. Inner. When Sensei talked a lot about this social lovey-dovey people stuff, he didn't mean at the people level holding hands. He said, oh yeah, they're going to do that social stuff. That's cute. But this inner stuff is what he was really referring to. You want to talk about oneness of beings or something. Inner, finer domain levels plus. Now we have a chance, but not in sing kumbaya together, bitching about Republicans or Muslims or who the hell ever, gun owners or whoever. It's insane. What are you doing? Kind of thing. I think I should finish up before I say something.
I believe, Sensei, that you've already trampled most politically correct norms enough for one night.
Yes. I have a history of being a balloon popper. As soon as you have these crazy ideas, I pop that balloon whenever possible. Part of my makeup. Sorry about that. Don't come into my house with balloons, people. Okay, thanks for hanging out. I hope you got something out of this.
Thank you very much, Sensei.
Whatever. Take care, yeah? Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, Sensei. Have a great
Thank you,
night.
Sensei.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Sensei.
Good night, all.
All right, Lauren, thank you.
Richard, I'll get that note out for you tomorrow morning.
Much
Thanks,
appreciated.
Lauren.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.